Hi, my name is Alicia. I'm 34, and I think I might have ruined everything good in my life. There's this moment, right before you hit record, where your heart starts doing that weird, fluttery rhythm, like it knows you're about to lie, or confess, or both. Today, I wasn't sure which it would be. Anyway, welcome back to the show, or whatever this is now. I wasn't planning to talk about this. Honestly, I swore I wouldn't. But silence is starting to sound louder than my voice, and there's only so much soundproofing you can buy before the walls remember. Hey, before we dive deeper, take a second, get comfortable. This one's a bit messy, but it's real. If you're still here, maybe hit like or subscribe so you don't miss the rest. And yeah, drop a comment when it's over. I mean it. What would you have done in my place? I'd honestly love to know. The closet door is cracked just enough to let a beam of afternoon light stripe across the microphone. A thin slice of sun cuts over Alicia's bare wrist as she steadies her phone on the tripod. Her voice recorder flashes red. She clears her throat once, then again, tasting last night's silence like it's still stuck in her teeth. Outside the tiny recording nook she's carved out of her bedroom, a jazz instrumental trickles from the kitchen. Mark's choice, always the same playlist: piano, soft brass, something unintrusive, as if even the music is afraid to ask questions. Alicia hits record. Episode 42, she says, voice tight but warm, the practiced cadence of someone who's mastered sounding fine. Today we're talking about the stories we tell ourselves to survive. She pauses, looks at the phone, blinks twice. Her reflection stares back from the black screen. Tangled hair, dry lips, eyes too sharp for 3 p.m. In the kitchen, a cabinet closes with a soft click. Mark's footsteps pad down the hallway but stop short of the bedroom. He doesn't knock. She leans into the mic. Sometimes the stories start out harmless, helpful even, until one day you look up and realize the version of yourself you've been selling doesn't fit anymore. Another pause. Behind her, the jazz fades out. Silence, then the sound of the front door opening, closing, quiet again. She doesn't flinch. Alicia exhales slowly and presses stop. The red light dies. In the quiet, the walls seem to inhale, as if relieved the performance is over. Her eyes drift to the unopened email on her laptop. Subject line, speaker invite, Ignite Change Conference. She doesn't click it, not yet. Instead, she stands, moves to the full-length mirror, peels off the oversized hoodie. Beneath it, a tailored blazer still tagged. She holds it up to her shoulders. Fits perfectly. The camera is still rolling. The ballroom is freezing, the kind of cold that makes you wonder if it's meant to keep you alert or just shrink your nerves down to something manageable. Alicia stands at the back, arms crossed, pretending she's not scanning the crowd. Everyone here looks prepared, gelled, branded. She's in black jeans and a blazer she borrowed from Kelly, her best friend slash stylist slash conscience, and feeling every inch of her imposter syndrome. A spotlight slices across the stage. Then, a voice, amplified and easy. Change isn't polite. It doesn't wait for your schedule to clear. The crowd stills. Phones lift. Sienna Lawson walks on stage like she owns the carpet, like gravity's optional. Hair in a sharp ponytail, makeup carved with intention. Her tone is warm but controlled, the voice of someone who could talk you into jumping and make you believe it was your idea. Alicia can't breathe. Not because Sienna is beautiful, though she is, but because she's saying everything Alicia has been afraid to think out loud. Comfort kills, and some of you are dying in the arms of routines you don't even love anymore, Sienna says. Laughter, applause, a few knowing nods. Alicia feels a tightness in her throat. Not envy, recognition. Sienna's eyes sweep the crowd, then pause. On her. Just for a second. Maybe, maybe not. Later, during Q&A, Sienna asks, who here has ever felt like their best self was stuck behind someone else's expectations? Alicia's hand lifts before her brain agrees. You, Sienna says, pointing. Come up. Her legs go cold, but she walks. The stage is hotter than it looks. Brighter. She blinks, and Sienna leans in with a mic. What's your name? Alicia. What's your truth, Alicia? And there it is. The question no podcast mic, no edit, no sponsor read ever asked her. I think I've been quiet for too long, she says. The words land like glass on tile. The crowd exhales. Somewhere, someone murmurs, same. Sienna nods. Then stop apologizing for wanting more. Applause swells. Cameras flash. Alicia's face is on the big screen behind them now, eyes wide, mouth half open, becoming someone else in real time. That night, back in the hotel room, her phone buzzes. From Sienna L. Subject, you ready? Body, you've got the voice. I'll help with the volume. Call me. Alicia stares at the screen, then glances at the hotel mirror. Her reflection doesn't look shocked. It looks like someone waiting to begin. Outside, the city glows in quiet approval. Inside, she picks up the phone. The new mic arrives in a velvet-lined case, heavier than expected, as if the weight of being heard had to be literal. Alicia runs her fingers along the brushed steel, then sets it on the arm of the boom stand like it's a weapon she's only now earned the right to carry. Her apartment feels smaller now, or maybe just too quiet. Mark's still sleeping on the couch, by choice. Their bedroom has become a kind of broadcast studio, cable snared and humming. He doesn't complain. He doesn't ask. Welcome to Personal Space Rewired, Alicia says into the mic. Same voice, new intro, polished music cue. Visual teasers for the episode hit Instagram an hour before launch. A dramatic still of her looking up at the ceiling with the caption, "The woman I used to be wouldn't recognize me now." And that's the point. Comments trickle in. Queen, period. This gave me chills. Needed this today. Who is she, and why does she sound like my inner voice finally grew a spine? Sienna reposts it with 3 words. Told you so. The numbers spike overnight. It's not long before a brand DMs her for a sponsorship. Wellness supplements. She reads the ad copy with ironic charm, layered just right. Later, Kelly watches the video from her phone. You're becoming something else, she says. Alicia smirks. You mean better? Kelly doesn't answer. She's too busy staring at the photo Alicia just posted. A glowing, styled shot of her standing on her rooftop in a fitted blazer, city lights behind her like approval from the skyline. Downstairs, Mark is unpacking groceries alone. She catches a glimpse of him through the kitchen doorway. He's staring blankly at a carton of eggs. Then, without turning, he says, You still take yours scrambled, right? Not now, Mark. I'm editing. The words hit the air sharp and cold. He nods softly, like someone who's heard a door lock from the other side. That night, a TikTok account features a clip from her latest episode. The one where she says, Sometimes the people who loved you the most were just holding the place for who you were too scared to become. Tens of thousands like it. Comments pour in, She snapped. Cutting ties isn't cruelty, it's survival. Her ex is probably punching the air right now. The next morning, she wakes to another email. This one from the Ignite Change Conference. Main stage, 2:00 p.m. slot. Topic, Rebuilding yourself from the ashes of approval. Her reflection in the monitor stares back with glassy-eyed confidence. No more soundproofing, no more soft edges, just her, amplified. The first time Alicia meets Devlin Hale, she almost walks past him. The event is called Leaders After Dark, one of those invitation-only mixers where everyone pretends to be casual in $1,000 shoes. The rooftop bar pulses with designer arrogance. Soft synths float through the air like smoke signals for the ambitious. She's halfway to the exit when she hears her name. Alicia Garrett, a voice says behind her. Didn't think you were real. She turns. Devlin is taller than she expected. Sun-kissed skin, charcoal jacket, eyes that don't just meet yours, they study you like a blueprint. The kind of man who looks like he knows too much and says even less. You follow the podcast? She asks, trying to sound bored. I followed the silence between your sentences, he replies. That's where the good stuff lives. It's a line, obviously, but a smart one. And she hates how her body leans a fraction forward before she stops herself. They talk, or rather, he provokes and she performs, a rhythm she knows too well. Devlin orders her a drink without asking what she wants. Somehow, it's exactly right. By midnight, they've migrated to a velvet-lined booth in the back, where the walls absorb secrets and the lighting makes everyone feel a little more deserving. You ever think about taking this further? He asks. The voice, the brand, the movement? Alicia shrugs. Depends on what further means. Global, visible, unapologetic. He says it slowly, like a spell. Then he touches her knee, lightly, just once, and smiles like he's seen the future and she's in it, lit from behind. Back in the rideshare home, Alicia stares out the window. Her phone buzzes. From Devlin H. Subject, that thing you said. Body, we need to build on it. You're more than a podcast. She doesn't reply right away. She's thinking about Mark, how he used to text her things like, "You okay? Want me to bring your favorite soup?" And how she used to feel warm reading them. Now, even the idea of soup feels small. She walks in. Mark's at the table, laptop open, spreadsheet glowing. He looks up. You good? He asks, eyes hopeful. I'm fine, she says, voice clipped. He nods. She disappears into the bedroom. Once the door closes, she opens Devlin's email. There's a contract attached. The subject line repeats in her mind, "You're more than a podcast." She looks at herself in the black glass of her monitor. The woman there looks interested, dangerous, ready. Mark doesn't raise his voice. That's what makes it worse. It's Sunday. He's made coffee, her favorite, with oat milk and cinnamon. She notices it steaming beside the laptop, but doesn't touch it. Instead, she's pacing. Her phone buzzes with notifications from the shoot she did yesterday, the Devlin campaign. Women of Tomorrow, red lit, posed, staged. He finally speaks. Do you still want this life? With me? She stops mid-step. It's not a trap, just a question, gentle and plain. I don't know, she says. Mark nods, but something folds in his posture. Not broken, just quieter. She doesn't apologize. Instead, she posts a photo, a cinematic still from the shoot, her backlit by a harsh white spotlight, arms folded. Caption: Sometimes we grow too big for the cages we once called comfort. 10 minutes later, Devlin reposts it with the flame emoji replaced by, Revolution has a face, and she's here. It goes viral. That afternoon, she's at a studio in Midtown. Sleek floors, white walls, no echo. The crew clips wireless mics to her dress. Devlin walks in mid-laugh with the director. He gives her a once-over and says, You look like a movement. The interview begins. Alicia speaks in flawless sound bites, words like evolution, ownership, radical choice. Devlin reaches over once, touches her wrist when she nails a line. She doesn't flinch this time. Then she sees the monitor. They've inserted B-roll, clips from the party, the rooftop, even a shot of him whispering in her ear. It's cut like a romantic montage. Her gut twists. She wasn't told. She clears her throat. That wasn't part of the plan. Devlin doesn't even look away from the screen. It sells. Later that night, she walks into the apartment. Mark's not there. On the counter, his key, and his wedding ring, laid side by side like punctuation. Her chest tightens. She picks up the ring. Cold. Too small now. She doesn't cry. Instead, she opens her phone. A DM from a follower reads, Your last post changed my life. I finally left my dead-end job and started my own thing. You're fearless. She stares at it. Fearless. Downstairs, a car starts. She doesn't check the window. She goes to the mirror, takes off the earrings, wipes the makeup from her lips. Beneath it all, her face looks clean. Not soft, just exposed. Then she opens a new draft, caption box blinking, but nothing she types feels true. The airport smells like burned coffee and dry ambition. Alicia adjusts her coat, designer now, though the collar still feels foreign. Her suitcase clicks against the polished floor, a quiet metronome of movement she's not sure she controls anymore. She's headed to Chicago. Main stage, 2 p.m. Ignite Change Conference. First-class check-in greets her by name. A man offers to take her coat. Someone else brings her a bottle of water she didn't ask for. It's all too smooth, too clean. She signs an autograph on a boarding pass. The woman says, "Your last episode got me through my divorce." Alicia smiles politely, like it means something. Then she sees it. Gate 42. Departure. Portland, Oregon. Her chest contracts. She doesn't look directly at it, but it's there, in all caps. The city Mark vanished into, the place he went to clear his head. His sister lives there. He probably does now too. The announcement echoes overhead. Her flight is boarding. She doesn't move. Instead, she stares at that other gate. Wonders for a second if Mark is in the terminal right now. Wonders if he's drinking a flat Americano and reading the same spreadsheet she once spilled wine over. Final boarding for Flight 221 to Chicago, the intercom calls. She blinks, breathes, walks forward. The hotel in Chicago is made of marble and light. Her suite overlooks the skyline. The minibar's curated. The curtains close at the push of a button. It should feel like luxury. It doesn't. There's a knock at the door. Devlin. He's already talking before it closes. Tomorrow's set. Red carpet's locked in. The audience is huge. And guess what? Sienna dropped out. Alicia turns. She what? Devlin shrugs. Said she needed to recalibrate. You're the headline now. He pours champagne into 2 flutes without asking, hands her one. To the new face of revolution, he says. She doesn't drink. Instead, she walks to the window and looks down at the city. Thousands of people, miles of lives, none of them hers. Behind her, Devlin is already on a call. She lifts her phone, opens her texts. Still no message from Mark, no new notifications, just the reflection of herself in the glass. Hair perfect, face contoured, heart unreachable. Tomorrow, she'll walk on stage in front of thousands, and not a single person in that room will know what her voice really sounds like when it's not being performed. The cover drops at 6:12 a.m. Alicia wakes to 32 notifications, 3 missed calls from her publicist, and 1 email subject line she already regrets reading. You and Devlin, the face of modern fire. The image is everywhere. Her in the red-lit blazer, eyes half-lidded, Devlin behind her like a shadow with cheekbones. The caption, raw, revolutionary, ready to burn it down. She stares at the screen. Her chest doesn't move for a beat. Then she opens the actual article. Half of her quotes are rewritten, punched up, as they say. The rest are Devlin's lines, bold, flammable, borrowed. Her phone rings. Again. It's Kelly. Alicia hesitates, then picks up. Did you approve this? Kelly's voice is tight. No, I didn't even know they were running. Well, they did, and your name is on it. So is your face. You're trending. Good or bad? A pause. Then, that depends on whether you still think anything is real. The call ends. She scrolls through the comments under the post. This is what selling out looks like. Did she really need a man to validate her fire? First Sienna, now this? Guess the revolution's sponsored. She switches apps. Sienna's feed is quiet. A single new post. Sometimes you walk away, not because you're weak, but because you recognize the moment you were used. No tags, no context, but it's clear. Then comes the email. From a Coach Lawson subject, disappointed. No body, just the subject. 1 word, enough. Alicia slams her laptop shut. The walls of the hotel suite feel closer now, like they're listening, watching. She walks to the bathroom, turns on the tap just to hear something that drowns the silence. Her reflection in the mirror is stunning, perfect, constructed. She hates it. Later, Devlin texts, "Ignore the noise, we control the narrative." She doesn't answer. Instead, she opens her DMs. Hundreds of messages. Some praising, most not. One catches her eye, a name she doesn't recognize. The message just says, "Hey, you okay?" Like, actually okay? It's nothing. But it lands. And suddenly, she's not okay. Not even close. She drops the phone into the sink, water still running, and watches the screen flicker once, then fade. It's the first honest sound she's heard all day. The coffee shop hasn't changed. Same flickering Edison bulbs, same mismatched mugs, Same chalkboard menu smudged by too many rainy days. Alicia slips in unnoticed, the oversized hoodie swallowing her like a memory. The barista glances up, a beat of recognition. You used to come here with that quiet guy, right? Always ordered 2 oat lattes, one with cinnamon? Alicia nods once. He seemed like he really listened to you. She forces a smile, but it warps halfway. At their old table, the one near the window with the wobbly leg, she sits down and pulls out her phone, opens the photo archive. There it is, a snapshot from last winter. Mark asleep on the couch, wrapped in a hoodie 2 sizes too big, her head on his chest. A mug on the table, 2 spoons inside. She zooms in until the photo pixelates, then locks the screen. Outside, the city goes about its business. No headlines, no hashtags. She calls Kelly. To her surprise, she picks up. You sound tired, Kelly says. I am. There's a pause, not quite tense, more like cautious. Alicia inhales. I messed up. Which part? All of it. Silence again. Then Kelly says, You didn't mess up success. You messed up who you brought with you. That one lands. They sit with it, on either side of the call. Later, Alicia walks the 6 blocks to the lake. The wind bites, but it feels earned. She watches couples pass, hands laced, headphones shared. One man presses his lips to a woman's forehead and laughs at something she says. She turns away too quickly. Her chest aches from muscle memory. Back home, she gets a notification. Ignite change panel, highlights. Now live. The thumbnail is her face, triumphant, composed. She doesn't click. Instead, she opens a blank document. Title, What I Lost While Getting Everything I Asked For. She stares at the blinking cursor, then types, I remember when being seen meant something. Her phone buzzes again, a comment on an old post. I used to love your voice. Now I don't know who's talking. For once, she agrees. No script, no makeup, no filters. Alicia sits cross-legged on the carpet, back against the wall. The expensive mic is back on its arm, but the room feels different now. Less like a studio, more like a confession booth. She hits record. Episode 49, she says quietly. No title, no intro music, just me. The red light glows. A full 10 seconds of silence passes. Then, I lied. Her voice cracks, not dramatically, just enough to sound human. I told you I was rebuilding, but I wasn't. I was distracting myself with image, with approval, with people who didn't care who I was as long as I kept performing. She takes a breath. Mark, if you're hearing this, I'm not asking you to come back, but I need to say this where it counts. Outside, the city hums. A distant siren fades. She continues. I thought reinvention meant discarding everything soft, everything scared. I let go of people who held my hand through panic attacks, who remembered my tea order, who sat through 4-hour edits of my early episodes without once complaining. Another pause. I mistook silence for strength, but the truth is, I was just scared to sit with my own voice when no one was clapping. She reads a line from a comment she screenshotted last week. You sound like someone who hasn't breathed in months. Alicia looks straight into the lens. You were right. There's a tremble in her jaw, but she doesn't cut. I built a platform out of emptiness. I dressed it up, I handed the mic to my own echo, and I called it empowerment. The camera stays steady. I'm not proud of what I did to the people who loved me. I can't undo it, but I can start being honest now, even if it's too late. Silence. Then, if you're still here, thanks. If you're not, I understand. She presses stop. The red light dies. She uploads the episode raw. No title, no music, just 49. Comments start slowly. This one broke me. Finally, a voice, not a brand. Hurting, healing, honest. And then a message from someone unexpected. From Mark R. Subject, listened. Body. I'm glad you're finding your voice. I've found some peace too. Be well. She rereads it 5 times. It doesn't say what she hoped, but it says enough. For now. The town is small, No skyline, no stage lights, no high-gloss posters with her face on them. Just a hand-painted sign outside the rec center. Fall Words Festival. Local voices welcome. Alicia parks beside a dusty truck, steps out into wind that smells like dry leaves and something honest. Her boots crunch across gravel. No cameras, no handlers. She exhales. Inside, the stage is a wooden platform raised 3 inches above scuffed linoleum. The mic is wired. The chairs are plastic. A kid adjusts the volume dial with the care of someone tuning a spaceship. The audience? Maybe 20 people. A few teenagers, 2 teachers, someone's mom knitting in the back row. No applause when she enters. No one knows who she is. And yet, this is the most real a stage has felt in months. She smooths the paper in her hand. Not a script, just notes, ideas, a memory or two, then steps up. The mic squeals once, then settles. She clears her throat. "My name is Alicia Garrett," she says. "I used to think my voice mattered only if thousands were listening. But lately, I've realized something." The room waits. Maybe honesty doesn't need an audience, just enough space to breathe. She tells them about her first podcast episode, how her hands shook so much she spilled tea on her laptop, about losing people, about mistaking spotlight for connection, about silence, and how terrifying and necessary it can be. No applause, just listening, real listening. A girl in the second row starts to cry, quietly. Later, they ask questions, not about her followers, about her fears, her mistakes. One boy asks, "Did it feel better when people stopped clapping?" She thinks, then nods. It felt realer, and harder, and more mine. That night, back at her borrowed room in the farmhouse down the road, she checks her phone. No tags, no mentions, no trending, but a message from communitycentermillercounty.org. Subject, next year, body. The kids want to know if you'll come back. You made them feel seen. She stares at it for a long time, then smiles, small, unpolished, but real. She closes the laptop, walks outside. The sky is ink blue and quiet. Somewhere in the fields, a dog barks once and then falls silent again. She breathes deep. Not a performance, just breath. And for the first time in too long, it's enough.